isn't just what we do, it's who we are. It's how we identify ourselves.
What does bracket racing mean to me? It's my life. It's where my people are. My idols, my family, my friends.
Bracket racing is life. Bracket life. Hello and welcome back to the Bracket Life broadcast, Canada's drag racing show. Brandon here. This week, once again, joined by my lovely and beautiful wife, Rachel. Rachel, how's it going?
Good. Nice to be back on the show.
Absolutely. A little last minute throw together, right? Andrew's got a lot going on. Getting ready to head out to big race, leaving tomorrow for Ohio, Dragway 42, the second East race.
Second.
Yeah, there you go. So loading up for that.
Super
Hopefully,
awesome.
Absolutely. Hopefully he gets the same results, or well, let's not say the same, better results than last time when a bunch of rounds in the Corvette did really well. So we watching, cheering Andrew on. So busy preparing for that, right? So
Yeah,
we thought,
absolutely.
what better time to hop on and do this together, you and I.
That's right. I'm the next best option.
Yeah, that's it. It works for me. If you're tuning in live, be sure to comment and let us know that you are here hanging out, where you're tuning in from, what you got going on. Get any questions, comments for the show, throw them in there, and we'll talk about it as we go. If you're watching the show on YouTube, hit that subscribe button just below. If you're not watching on YouTube, go log in after the show. Don't do it right now. You're busy. Log in. Subscribe to the channel, Bracket Life brand. Check out all our different stuff, all the Bracket Life broadcast episodes, things like that, our different vlogs that we have going on up there. Keep you informed. Helps out. It's
Absolutely.
A lot of fun. This week's
another
episode,
vlog coming soon.
We do. There you go.
Yeah.
This week's episode presented by Luskville Dragway. As you can see in the bottom corner, huge couple weeks coming up. Not this weekend, but next weekend it starts. The Little Bracket, Dave Rennie Auto Care Little Bracket. Fires up for six huge days of racing in 10 days.
Yep.
The drag week, bracket week, whatever you want to call it, for the Bracket Bonanza. So we got a little more information we'll talk about after that. Go through it. We have a 5-day points championship presented by Bracket Life brand and Precision Concrete Finishing. And of course, like I said, the Napa Auto Parts Bracket Bonanza week. It's going to be massive. I'm really excited.
Definitely the biggest race for us.
Yeah. And I would say, you can argue any point at this rate right now, this is the largest, not just event, but week in Canadian drag racing in Canada. So nice Canadian drag racing in Canada. That kind of all goes hand in hand. Shout out quick. Grandma Brenda Parker's hi from Scotland. It is after midnight there, so they're hanging out. Mom and Grandma are across the pond, hanging out with Daniel and Alyssa for. I guess they're almost done. Their trip's almost over.
Yeah, a couple more days.
Absolutely glad that they could be watching. So
yeah, we appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah, if you do have to go to bed, we get it.
It's
a long day. But we will get into the Canadian countdown. And like I said, we'll talk about Bonanza Week and cover everything going on at Luskville once we get through the countdown near the end of the show. So start off from some results in BC. 3 weeks ago now, we were waiting for some Door Wars results at the last episode. They finally came out not very long after the show. We finally had to talk about them. Junior Lightning, Connor takes the win over Lexi. Junior Street says Tyler over James. Door Slammers, Jay, I can almost not see that. Jay Severson over Brian Ritchie. Outlaw 275, Justin Gallant over Neil Richards. Junior Thunder, Natania over Adam. Craig Johnson takes the win in electronics over Keith Peterson. Real Street was Joel Smith taking the win over Rob Monroe. Limited Street, Vanessa Richards over Dennis Drummond. Top Fuel Harley. I'm not sure there's any other spot in Canada that has run a Top Fuel Harley this year. Austin Christopher takes the win there. Top comp, Jeremy Soares over Mike Lucas. Ross Walker over Rob Getz wins the non-electronics. And West Coast Pro Mods, Garrett Richards takes the win over Dave Kowalski. Cool deal. Door Wars is a great event. I saw a bunch of information on that leading up to it. If it was closer, then we'd go. But being on the other side of the country doesn't work out as well.
It definitely seems like one of the cooler events that they do out there. So it's always fun to kind of watch from afar since we are so far away, and they do a really great job at not only posting the results but the videos that they do of all the winners afterwards. Like, you learn so much about the driver, and it's really cool. So they do a great job. So shout out to Mission.
Absolutely, and it's fun doing those. I love the
Yeah.
winner circle interviews. Right, it hypes up the event, whether it's just a local race they do or Door Wars, which is I believe one of their largest events of the year. So cool to get that hyped up, right, and make it a big deal, because it is huge when you get an event win, during an event like this. So, Rach, why don't you talk about some results from SIR?
Yeah, so moving into a race at Saskatchewan. This is from the July 6th, 7th weekend, so a couple weekends ago now. In Super Pro on Saturday, it was Rick DeGauss over Leroy Schmidt. In Pro, it was Jansen Atten over Ryan Appleby. Sportsman was Chantel Hendry over Clarence Hunko. Street Legal, Glenn Wright over Evan Stevenson. And Junior Street Legal is Marley Breeze over Trace Waisluck. And on Sunday, we have a lot of similar names. So in Super Pro, it was Scott Yarmenko over Al Allen. In Pro, Ryan Appleby, so runner-up on Saturday, winner on Sunday. Good weekend for him. Beat Frank Pahaza, I think.
I like it.
We're going to go with that. In Sportsman, it was Keith DeJarlis over Chad Penner. Street Legal, Evan Stevenson over Glenn Wright. And Junior Street Legal was Sullivan Groff over Marley Breeze. So cool to see two people, runner-ups and winners.
Turn it into a big win on Sunday. Great when everything comes together like that. It's cool to see SIR back running. Lots of good posts, lots of good participation so far from what I've seen. We'll have to have somebody else on. Again, Andrew and I talked about that. Again, give an update of how the track is improved, right? How much of a difference they actually find in it, and how the season's going for them. Cut a little bit short, but not too bad.
Yeah, definitely. I know, like with Luskville, we always talk about that, so it's cool to see how it is with different tracks once they do some major upgrades.
For sure. Absolutely. So go back to St. Thomas. So we only have one result from St. Thomas. Jordan Crow, shockingly enough, takes the win number 4 on the season in Super Pro. Quick cool fact that I did talk to Jordan about, his dragster. So he just got into Super Pro this year. So 4 race wins at St. Thomas this year for Jordan. That car, dragster he's running now, has not left the house and went to a racetrack without collecting at least one winner circle picture. So 4 with Jordan, 1 with Uncle Dylan Hashi at the 660 Sportsman Nationals. So pretty cool deal. They're hot. They're also headed to the Ace race. Well, I would say right now, but I don't think they've left yet. But they're heading down to Dragway 42. So it'd be pretty cool if Jordan could seal the deal on one more, get it rolling for some larger money. Right, that'd be fun. I'm not sure if Dylan's going or who's driving what, but I know I was talking to Jordan earlier in the week and wished him luck when he was going down, and so it'll be fun. I'm excited to get the results from there.
Absolutely.
We'll stick back out west. Top Eliminator Edmonton, July 6th and 7th. Saturday winner Dylan Miller takes the $10,000, and Ryan O'Connor, ROC, $5,000 runner-up. That's pretty huge. Huge
That's
day.
A big payday.
Spider Electric Super 16, Mike Crozier over Jesse Vanderwerf. So good for them. Crozier obviously in the winner circle a bunch. Same with ROC. So good for them. Sunday winners. This one was really cool. I watched this one live. Ryan O'Connor was going live. They always have somebody usually do the finals. So they're doing that. I'm watching Tanner Gates, great drag racer, really good. Going 7:15, 7:14 against Stan Esri, going 6:15. So quarter mile racing, right? This is ridiculous fast. Stan Esri been in the winner's circle at an NHRA event earlier in the year, I believe. So Tanner does get the win there, but awesome to see those low 6-second cars going deep in a bracket race against, now there is a bump at the top E class. I'm not sure if it's 750 or 790. So it's a fast class in general, but still cool. See those low 6-second cars out there rolling it up. Super 16 on this day, Cody Lewinsky over Eric Goulden. So congratulations to those winners. Got Going Bracket Racing in the comments, hopping it up. Hope it's a little cooler in Canada. It is down here, 105 degrees in North Carolina.
Oh man,
that is
that's hot.
That's hot.
I wouldn't say it's much like it's definitely cooler here, but it's still hot.
Yeah, it's not nice. It's very, very humid, very wet.
Yeah, it's just muggy and gross feeling.
Absolutely. Anybody paying attention that has seen Going Bracket Racing, they're live on Tuesdays as well. Every Tuesday. That's at 5:00 Eastern time. So they've already had their show, right? They went, did their deal, had their show. Now they're hanging out, listen to some Canadian drag racing content. So cool deal. Great to see them. Great to talk to those guys. I'll have we'll have to see what happens. Maybe we can do another GBR and Bracket Life little reunion. We've had them on here before. So
it's been a while. We definitely have to bring them back.
Time. Absolutely. Yeah. So we'll stick some more results. Manufacturers Cup, Montgomery, Alabama. Normally Andrew gets really hyped up to do these results for Josie Brooks. Runner up on both days. Good for Josie. So that's really cool. Dominant last year on the bike. This year keeping it up, right? It's not a fluke. She knows how to ride a motorcycle, apparently. Not my strong suit.
Yeah, I feel like every time I go on Facebook, she's like won something else or she's gone somewhere else. So yeah, good for her. It's awesome being able to watch what she's been doing.
Absolutely. Rach, you want to hit some Grand Bend results?
Yeah. So Grand Bend last weekend, or I guess this past weekend, on Saturday, Frank Roberts beat Dave Mataka, in Mod ET. In Top ET, it was Benny Smith over Rodney Gomes. And this was actually the first time out for Benny. And he was 009 and 1 thou off his dial in the final. So really good run for him and cool that it was his first time out this season and he picked up the win. In Sportsman, it was Josh Koch over Jeff Talbot in the finals. And then Bike and Sled was Ian Washington over Nelson Tremblay. Extreme 32 was won by Liz Quesnel in her door car over Harry Goosens in the Dragster. Open Comp saw James Seabrook over Kimberly Arquette. And then our junior classes, we have Junior Advanced. Jacob Verstel took the win over Noah Gomes. Junior Development was Drew Lancombe over Chloe Parkin, and Junior Consolation was Luke Sampson. And then moving into Sunday, Frank Roberts was in the finals again, but took the runner-up spot as Will Steckley beat him in Mod ET. And then in Top ET, Will Steckley also won, so he doubled up, won in both classes over Carly Duffy. Sportsman was repeat of Saturday, but this time Jeff Talbot took the win over Josh. Bike and Sled was David Duval over Steve Stretch. Extreme 32 saw Benny Smith get the win over Liz Quesnel, who all won on Saturday, so great weekend for her. Open Comp was Tom Parent over Andrew Tim. And then in the junior classes, it was for Junior Advanced, second day in a row, Jacob Verstel over Noah Gomes. So 2 people in the same finals both days, which is pretty cool. And Junior Development was Drew Lancombe over Chloe Parkin. And then as well, on top of that, Grand Bend did their first PSDS race of the season. I believe it was the first one. And for top sportsman, Jeff Gable was in the winner's circle, with the number 1 qualifier, Paul Cool, who was the runner-up. And then for top dragster, Kevin Knight over Benny Smith. And pro modified was Austin Vandergeld, and he had to take a solo pass, as his competitor Travis broke in the semifinal round.
Absolutely. So that's a huge weekend. Like you said, Benny Smith, first weekend
Yeah.
of this year, and 3 final rounds. So that's all
Wow.
right. Right?
Yeah.
Doing not bad. Doing not bad. Good for Benny to be back out. Obviously, Benny and Ed Smith, ridiculous force to race with whenever you do get to Grand Bend to Kevin Knight, and Will Steckley, right? I don't know
Yeah.
what else you want me to say, right? Just don't race Will Steckley. That's what I got. We'll roll through a little shout out here. PDRA Summit Pro Stars weekend at Virginia Motorsports Park, the Night of Fire. This past weekend, flying Ryan Harris takes the win in juniors. Ryan, we've talked about a bunch on here, doing great, rolling down there. So I'm not really sure how the Pro Stars works for PDRA, but looked like a really cool deal, and it should be a lot of fun. RCSS, July 6th and 7th, Saturday top was Mike Sucrovani over John Robertson. Quick Sports and Rob McCallum over Jay Snell. Mod was Dan Pepper. That's our boy, winner of the inaugural Bracket Life Winter Rumble Practice Street Challenge. So Dan took the win over Mike Sucrovani in Mike's second final of the day. Darcy McCoubry beats Vinny Bombini in foot brake. Bike and sled, Mike Konopacki over Brandon Satchel. Kate Snell took the win over Rob Blanchard in street. Lizzie Gayer made the long trip from Ohio up to Toronto Motorsports Park to race the RCSS series. Gets the win over Carter Daniels. Junior Consi, Ryan Pettit over Alyssa Stewart. Ooh, almost went for Allison, but it's Alyssa Stewart. Sunday cool deal for our buddy Jeff Digman, Bracket Life brand ambassador. First win ever in Super Pro. So good for him. I was talking with Jeff a little bit after the win, and he's headed to Empire soon. I don't know if Empire's this weekend. I think in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's next weekend.
Jeff's going to take his hot streak and roll down, try for some of that American money. So congratulations to him. He got that over Peter Bors. Fast 16, Rich Yakos over Scott Foster. Quick Sportsman was Joe Ferrari, take the win over Dave Sutton. Peter Bors, once again, second final of the day for Peter. So takes the win over Dustin Taylor. Dustin Taylor, that was his, I believe they said, his 4th final round of the year. And no good yet, but he's getting close. Dustin's putting a lot of win lights on and getting close. He's going to get that big one here soon. Foot brake, Vinny Bombini over Bill Thompson. Jared Cloyne takes the win in bike sled over Phil Brown. So it's a neat deal when I was reading up on it. So Jared gets his first win in the sled class. So, I think that was his first event or first time ever running it, racing his buddy Dan Earl's sled, right? So Jared and Dan, good friends. Jared jumps on the sled, gets the win in the bike and sled class. Street class comes around. Dan Earl, who is driving Jared's car now, gets the runner up. So they were awfully close to putting each other's race cars in the winner's circle. So that would have been a cool deal for them. Sam Snap stopped Dan Earl in the final in street. Jack Snell takes the win in junior, and Julian Gayer over Cole Ferry was the junior Consi final. That's everybody else. Now we'll talk about some of the racing that we did. Lancaster, New York. Rach, you and I got to tour down there with your family. Watched some top fuel cars. Got to race ourselves. Well, I did. You, unfortunately, it didn't work out for you to be able to drive. So I took your car. Made a few good runs in it, but we had fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was, of course, the top fuel cars were there, which is obviously the biggest attraction. So on a night when you're not used to having spectators, top fuel cars are going to bring all the spectators, which even though I didn't get to race, I would argue it was like one of the coolest experiences I've had at a racetrack in a long time. And obviously because of the Top Fuel cars being there. Like, everyone wants to watch Top Fuel cars, but it was really cool to, still get to see and meet all the people that came out, so, it was a lot of fun, and they had, like, a ton of cars there for, like, just a Friday night. So for people that don't know much about Lancaster, I think they only drag race on Friday nights, is my
Like
understanding.
Tuesday nights and Friday
Or 2,
nights.
yeah, yeah, but, like, for the weekend, it's
Yeah,
only a
yeah.
Friday night deal, and then Saturday, they work and they convert, the racetrack into a speedway, and it's a circle track, race on the Saturday night. So it's definitely neat. Like, you don't hear of a lot of, racetracks doing that, and it was really cool.
That was neat. Cool environment. I've heard about Lancaster for a long time.
Yeah,
I guess I had been there at some point in my life when I was very young. We used to do the tour. There's a lot of folks from my area of where I grew up. They'd leave from home, drive to Lancaster, race Friday, drive to Empire and race Saturday, go to Esta on Sunday, and then come home to finish out the weekend. So cool to kind of do. I'd like to do the idea of the tour maybe someday,
yeah,
but we'll see. But it was nice,
yeah,
nice to get there. There's a lot of really cool people, a lot of people that had heard of Bracket Life and saw our show, which
that
was
was
really
really
neat
neat. Yeah,
to meet all these people that you're like, I don't know. For us, we roll down, and when you head to New York, you're not going to think that anybody really pays attention to what we're doing, right? We're
mhm,
obviously very close, but I don't know. I just don't expect to go down there and have people recognize
and,
us
like,
for what we're doing.
we didn't have, like, the Bracket Live car there. Like, it was just my parents with their 4 cars and their rig. So, yeah, it was pretty impressive. Like, they saw the Ogilvy trailer and they were like, "Oh my god, Bracket Live." So, that was really
Yeah,
cool, and, like, that they actually came up and talked to us. Like, I think so many people, I don't know, I would be shy, so I thought that was neat.
it was really cool. So we had a lot of fun with that stuff. Obviously, like you said, we got to hang out with the Peyton Fuel cars for a little bit, hang out with all that whole crew is a lot of fun, and we've gotten to start know those guys and girls
Yeah.
um, a little bit better over the last couple years, I guess. So it's neat to see all
The
them
closest
and what's
I
that?
feel like I was gonna say, it's, like, the closest we've, like, ever been to, like, being in, like, pro pits. It was pretty cool to be parked beside the Top Fuel cars and
Yeah,
you felt like you were really something.
and then like get to see all what they all do, and then they get to see us in our
Yeah,
function as well. So that was a lot of fun. So
yeah.
racing wasn't as good for myself. I drove well, like I had 2 time hits, drove well round
So
one,
you haven't
almost
driven
drove
my
well round
car
two.
you haven't driven my car in a long time, so
I think it's in 6 years.
yeah, it's
Because
been a long time.
well, no more than that. I think it's 8 years that I raced your car. It was a long time
It was
ago.
before we started dating, so it has to be, yeah, we've been
Yeah,
together, like, 7 years, so it has to be longer than that.
yeah. But I did pretty well. It's a comfortable race car. I've already talked about Lancaster being short. It was short, sure. Um, I was driving your car. There was no problem. Mike was going 458
Yeah.
there, and no real problem stopping. Obviously, you have to be paying attention and know what to expect when you're getting down there. But yeah, had no real issues. Um, let off at the finish line.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
about it. And then make sure you're on the brakes, and obviously you want to have good brakes, right? You're not showing up anywhere with bad ones. So that was fine. We did well. Ashley was able to take the win in the quick 8 portion of the race. So they kind of split. They have a top class, which is super pro, and then they'll split the top 8 qualified cars. Have it's
4
almost
dragsters and
4
4-door
dragsters,
cars.
4-door cars, and then they have just add a little extra to the pot, race for their own purse for 3 rounds, and the winner of that portion then gets put into round 4 of
4.
Top
Yeah.
ET. So Ashley was able to take the win in the quick 8-second portion of it. I think went a couple more rounds before losing at 6
Mhm.
cars in Top ET. So great night for her. Made it a longer night than what we thought. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, we all rolled hot through round 1, and then round 2 wasn't as nice to the rest of us. Um,
Yeah, we had, like, 4 win lights coming back, we're like, "Oh, yeah, this is great," and then, it was 1 win light in 2nd round, and I was like,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
boy. Well, that ended."
That's how it goes, right? But it turned
Yeah,
around. But it was a fun
definitely.
deal. It was cool racing at night, and that like the place is jammed, right? There had to
Yeah.
be 2 or 3,000 people there, and they're right on the track. So I don't know. I love it. I was doing as big of burnouts as your card let me, and waving at people in the stands or that were watching as I'm backing up. I was having a great time.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was, I
jealous.
was,
I wanted to
yeah,
race.
yeah. I was upset when it was over because I was having so much fun, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But while we were in Lancaster Friday night, we did not make it home, hung out. The idea was to kind of maybe rush home and try and get here and go to Luskville to
Go to
race. But
Luskville.
Alex
We have
slowed
a
my
baby now.
ideas down when she had a little thing going on in the middle of the night. Her teeth were hurting. So
I think it
at
literally
3 o'clock,
started.
I decided I'm like, no, I'm not getting up this early to drive home. But they
Really,
were
it started the second we got there because she was fussy when we got there to the point that you had to drive my car because I was needed to be
yeah,
there
it,
for her. And then, yeah, it just kind of continued through the night. And, we just pivot and make adjustments. And that's
that's it.
just, yeah, the
That's it.
sacrifices we make. But she's
That's right.
cute.
She is. So Saturday, they were racing the Luskville Dragway. Mike Chenier takes the win in Super Pro. Semi Pro was Stephen Ballantyne, and juniors Leah Monahan over Emmy Roberge. Cool deal for them. We did make it. We made it Saturday night just after the finals. Rach, you and I rolled in.
Yeah. Played a
You know,
wicked game of cornhole.
because that's what I was going to say. We beat up the old cornhole board out there.
Yeah.
Uh, Played that till late in the night. Woke up Sunday, had a great race day. Louis Gagne in Kyle Jessup's dragster takes the win over Terry Miron in Super Pro. Semi-Pro, Larry Lepin over Rob Segru. I do not have
Juniors
the
didn't race.
juniors did not race. You are correct.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have any
They're
junior
doing
results.
Yeah, they're gonna be doing a special race in the next couple weeks, so they're holding off for the big race, which is, fun for them. I feel like they're racing for a ton of money. I'm like, I'd love to go back into juniors.
Yeah. Uh, so that's been it for the Canadian Countdown for tonight. We'll talk a little bit about some of our racing to this point before we do get into the bracket week information. So for everybody holding on for that, it's coming. We
Yeah,
have all the
we're
info. I got the flyers right here. I'm ready to go. So Rachel, like I said, we'll talk about some of our racing a little bit first. How's your season going?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, I was on here, like, not too many episodes ago, but I wanna say I only had, like, 1 race under my belt when I was on the show last, so I didn't really have much of an update, but, um, I'm, like, pretty happy with my season so far, like, there hasn't been I've been in Super Pro for almost 10 years, and I think there was 1 season that I was actually really proud of and proud of my performance, and, this year is probably, like, the 2nd year I can, like, add this season as, like, I'm proud of what I'm doing, and, yeah, I never anticipated, like, I had no I think when I was on here, I said I was like, I have, like, goals of, like, what I think I want to accomplish, but I'm not gonna, like, actually create those goals and, like, put them in stone that I want to accomplish them because, 1, it's, like, my first time, racing with having a baby and just figuring out life, so, yeah, there wasn't really, like I had no expectations, I guess, is, like, what I'm trying to say, but, yeah, things have been really good. I did really well, like, the first Super Tour race of the year, which those are, like, my favorite races to go to, so it's always fun when you get to go, rounds and, like, big money races for what we have, going on, and then, just being able to hit the tree, like, I have never, really had, like, multiple weekends in a row where I'm, like, consistently hitting it, being, like, 15 and better. I've had quite a bit of red lights, which is good for me because it's better than, I'd rather red lights than be like 50 or 60 on the tree. So that's been really great. So yeah, overall, I'm just pretty happy with the season. We're going to Shannoville this weekend. I'm excited for that. And then, of course, with the 2 big races being back to back, I think it really starts to like especially like you go to the little bracket and you just get like amped up and ready to go. And it just kind of, um, I don't know, puts you in the mindset to, like, go out and, like, do really well for, the bracket, so I'm excited for that, and hopefully I can continue just being consistent on the tree and seeing more win lights.
Absolutely, you have been doing really well. Um, I don't know. You haven't got the final win light, I guess. But like you
Yeah,
said, when we're looking at what you've been doing and the races that you've been putting on and like how you have been driving the race car has been really well. Um, we talked about it before. Obviously, your starting line stuff has been kind of the weaker point of your racing for a
Mhm.
lot of it, but it's been really well. I don't know. Like we were talking about Sunday, like I think round one, year 12,
Yeah, I was
one
like
above
12,
three.
12, 005, and, like, can't do anything.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
cars there, it's, like, falling off a little bit, but yeah, just, like, tight races, and it's, like it's the hardest thing in the world because 'cause I'm like, "I did really good, like, I'm really proud of myself and, like, my performance," but the guy beside me was, like, 4th out better or, it was just really close and really tough races, and, like, I think as a racer, like, we struggle with that all the time because you get, like, round wins, but you can't get, like, 10 round wins in a day to, like, get to that final round. So for me,
yeah,
that's, like, always been the hardest part because I don't have, like I haven't been in that many finals or, like, that many semifinals, so I think it's hard because when you do get there, then, like, for me, I start to, like, get nervous and I don't like, you're not under that pressure that, like, you are when you're in, like, 1st and 2nd and 3rd round, like, it's you need to get through those, obviously, but there's not as much pressure there. So, like, for me, like, am missing that kind of I don't know the right word, but I'm, like, missing that kind of experience, I guess, so I'm hoping I can just slowly make my way up, win 1st, 2nd, and 3rd a couple more times, and then, maybe I'll make it to the semis, maybe I'll make it to the finals, and I'm sure that string of win lights will come soon.
absolutely will. I have faith in it. Right? It's
Yeah,
definitely going to come. It's a lot of fun. It's so much different now doing this together with Alex. Well, I should say
yeah,
Alexandra when we're on here. Not everybody knows that we do have a daughter. So with Alexandra at the racetrack, right? It's a lot of fun
yeah.
with her. I don't know. It's it's
It's
cool seeing
for
you go around. So like when we went to Naperville and you did really well, like that was so much fun for me to watch, right? And obviously fun for you to do it. So
yeah,
I'm excited for that to happen again. And we just kind of
I
keep
think
going, right? We just keep puttering at it and not giving up and
yeah.
we're so close.
I think it's changed the dynamic of, um, like, not just the dynamic between, like, me and you racing, but also, like, my family racing now, like, I used to go, like you would ask me, like, "Why do I race?" And I would say, "I love the racetrack, I love the people, love the atmosphere, and it's really fun to drive the car." There was never I don't ever, like, picture myself being, the number 1 racer where, like, I'm competitive, but I don't have, like, that competitive gene that, like, you have per se. So, like, every time we've raced together for the last 7 years that we've been together, the focus has always been on your racing because you're better, you're gonna win more races, you're gonna win more money, and that's what gets us back to the track every weekend where, like, I just spend money in entry fees and buybacks. And so, like, I am not, like, a sustainable racer where, like, you can we're not always, like, up in the positives or whatever, but and it's not about money, but it definitely helps for sure, and so our strategy for years has always been, you race first. It's all about you, but then now it just seems so different. Like I think we bring Alex to the racetrack. She's 10 months old now. She's been going since she was 5 weeks old. And we understand, I guess, the magnitude of like being raised at the racetrack because we both were kids growing up. You were obviously much younger. Um, at the track than, like, when I started. I was 13, you were, like, 5, 6, you were going your whole life, really. And so I think the magnitude of that is we know I guess we know what the magnitude of that is like, and so we want to be those role models and, like, give her everything that we had as a kid, so it totally changes, I guess, my outlook, on, like, how we're raising her, what we're doing, making sure, like, we're putting, the focus more equally, I guess, on me and you and our racing, and I think specifically because we have a daughter and this is a male-dominated sport, I think there's a whole other level to that, that, like, is always in the back of our minds that I specifically, and I think you too, like, we want her to know that, like, just because you're a girl, like, you can still do this, and, like, look at your mommy loves racing, she's really good, and I keep saying to Brandon, like, the first weekend of the year I went out, I was like, "I can't suck." I was like, "It was fine before when I didn't have a kid, if I sucked, that was on me," and, like, I would, like, get down about it, but I was like, "I can't go out there and, like, half-ass, put no like, little to no effort in it or just go out and say, 'Oh, I'm gonna have fun today.'" No, it's totally different now, like, I want at the end of the day, for her to look at me and be like, "Mom did, like, the best that she could behind the wheel." And, so, yeah, I think it's, like, almost made me a little bit better, and I don't think like, there's one girl on the internet that talks about it a lot, and I love listening to what she says, but when you become a mom, I don't know, it just, like, it changed everything for us, and it changed, yeah, the whole dynamic and everything we've got going on, so it's been a really, really fun year. Like, there's so many layers to it, and I'm, like, kind of babbling, but yeah, it's been really amazing, and I'm excited to, continue to show her that, like, anything's possible, and hopefully we can have, like, a lot of win lights and a lot of checks and also just create a lot of memories with her. There's nothing better than, having her on the golf cart and driving her around and yeah.
Absolutely. I love it, right? You're definitely right. Because obviously, she's my daughter as well, but it's different with me than it is with you, right? For all those things you just said. So it's really cool for you to see that, and I don't know, to go through all the steps of you recognizing those things and then actually bringing it to the racetrack and onto the racetrack, right?
Yeah.
And being serious, and like, this is how we focus on it. When I know you said at the start of the year, because she's all over you. Tonight seemed like she wanted to be with me the whole time.
Yeah, that was a first.
But 99% of the time, she just wants you, right? She'll go with other people, but like, she just wants to be with you. So then, kind of when you get in the race car at the racetrack and go up the lanes, then like, that's your chance. That's when you're just hanging out by yourself,
Yeah.
right? That's the only time you really have, is to just go do your own thing for a minute. So it's
Yeah,
need to
I
try and make the
remember
most of it.
it was honestly, like, the most wild thing, like, the first time I got in my car, like, literally just to go make a test run. I remember my dad, he, like, stuck his head in and he was like, "Are you good? Like, do you remember, like, you know, put the car in, like, this gear and, these are the buttons and whatever," and luckily my car's labeled, so I can't screw up what button to hit even if I tried, because like, there's literally labels on it. But he was like, "Are you good? Like, do you want me to come up with you and, like, do a test run?" And I was like, "No, like, I think I'm good." Like, I don't know why, I just, like, I feel so zen right now, and, like, and then on the way home, I was like, "I don't understand, like, why, like, that was, like, such a monumental feeling, like, I've just never felt like that." And then I got thinking when we were driving home, I was like, "Honestly, that was the first time that I've, like, been by myself and I didn't have to be, like, in mom mode." Like, she wasn't all over me. This is what I wanted to do, and, like, it was the first moment that, like, I had literally had to myself, and then, yeah, it's just, like, I could focus. Like, I was so nervous that I was just gonna be thinking about her and, like, being sad that I, like, wasn't back there, like, maybe I should just give up racing because like, I need to be with my daughter, but honestly, like, I didn't feel like that at all. And yeah, it was, like, I don't know, it was the most freeing, like, zen moment I've ever had, and yeah, like, every time since I get in my car and I'm like, "You know what? I'm doing this for me and, like, nobody else," and I just think you need that. Like, I don't know, people would always say, like, being a mom is the most important thing I will ever do in my life, but I think it's so important to still have something that you're passionate about and something that's, like, just for yourself, and I think it keeps me sane, like, knowing that, like, 99% of the day I'm a mom, but that 1% I get to do something for myself, and yeah, it's like, I don't know, motivated me to be a better racer, but also just yeah, it gives you something to, I don't know, keep living for other than, like, your family and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how else to say it, right? It's a really cool deal. I love to seeing you get into this role and everything that you're doing with this, and I'm excited to kind of see where it carries on to as she
Yeah.
grows up and our family grows up together. So, um,
What do
you
you think of
mentioned
your
earlier
season?
my season, not very impressive so
We're
far.
gonna we're gonna skip over that part.
I've had better years to this point, but like I said, it's a lot going on, right? It's a lot of other things to focus on other than, I've had years of being able to just focus on driving the race car, right? That's
Yeah.
been the only thing that I ever had to worry about at the racetrack, right? When I was in my truck, I'd sit, you had a cooler, you grabbed two pizzas before you left, cold bags of chips, some drinks in the cooler, you had water and other drinks in the cooler, and race cars, race fuel, and money for entry fees, right? And that's all you needed in life at that point. So like, I've had those times and done those things where, just the race car is the only thing that mattered. And now, life's a little bit different. I need to, especially when we're sharing Alex with everybody and everybody has to race, gotta, like, I like getting up to the lanes early anyways. We gotta get up because you gotta get back so somebody else can go race, and then somebody's got to be with Alex, and you're just paying attention more. And then in between rounds you're occupied a little bit, and it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But we're getting there.
I feel like, I mean, I wouldn't say that you're doing bad by any means. I think it's kind of the same thing that we talked about earlier. It's just like you're getting win lights, you're just not getting that like string of win lights where it's getting you to the final round. And yeah, I think you're just honestly like, I think you've had a lot of fun watching me race, and I don't think we've like there has been more of a focus on me, and like I don't think that's good or bad or whatever, but yeah, it's just been a very different year of like you've been focusing on like watching me get back in behind the car, and then like making sure we talked a lot about like me being so upset when I had to take the season off last year because I was pregnant. So I think this year, now that I'm like back behind the wheel, you're making sure that I'm getting the season that I want. After, having sacrificed last year, you're kind of sacrificing a little bit of, your time, and you used to sit there and play games on your phone, right? In between rounds. Well, now you're changing diapers, you're feeding Alex, you're, making sure my car is good. Majority of the time you're like fueling my car and checking my tires and doing my car instead of doing your car because I'm with the baby. And anyways, so yeah, I think it's definitely different for sure, but it's we're making do, and we're having a lot of fun. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I think even like this weekend, like we talked about going to Shannonville, and obviously that was your home track for I don't even know how long, like your whole life. That was where you grew up, where 99% of your racing memories came from. And we were sitting in the car, and on the way home on Sunday night, and we had loaded my car into our trailer, which we've never been able to do. So it's pretty cool now that like we can go racing with my car and Brayden's car, not having the second dragster. And I said, I like, this is going to be Alex's first time going to Shannonville, and that was your whole life, that was your whole childhood. Like, what are you excited to show her? And just all those memories that you get to make. And we're going to race, but at the same time it's like we're not even going to race at the same time. We're just like we're like living this like nostalgia of our childhood, and like wanting to give her the same experiences and things that we found so important. So I think it will be a cool weekend, but we kind of do that every weekend. Like there's always something where it's like, oh my god, we did this as a kid, and we just want her to experience it too. So we're out there racing, but our priority really is like even though she's not gonna remember anything, we're always like
Yeah.
focused on her and more of the experience this year more than anything.
Absolutely. It'll be fun. Be fun to see everybody that I don't get to see very
Yeah.
much or at all anymore. So that's what I'm excited for this weekend coming up. You got some bullet points here of what parenting is like while racing. So run
I
through
was
a few
trying
of
to
those.
I was trying to make notes because I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be helpful to anyone because I can't think of anyone with an infant at the racetrack like us. But, yeah, when I was thinking about what we were gonna talk about tonight, I was like, "How are we gonna explain what it's like with both mom and dad racing?" And not just that, grandma, grandpa, and auntie also racing, and then uncle who is across the world right now, so he's not racing with us this year, and then Nanny and Papa who are at the cottage. So I'm like, we don't have like, a hired person or a grandparent that doesn't race or is present every weekend to help us out. So like, what do we do? How do we make it work? I think there's a couple people that are like pretty curious about it. So I was like, I'm gonna list out some of the things that we do, and it's definitely not perfect by any means. I wrote down fun but chaotic is like basically the gist of what our pit spot is. And for people who have walked through our pits in previous years, I think you probably would have thought that before we added in a baby because there was always six dragsters and it was like kind of chaos before that. Um, But yeah, now it's really chaotic, and there's usually a screaming baby. She's happy for the most part, but we do have our moments. Every time I pull away in my car, she usually starts screaming. So there's different tactics that, like, the 5 of us or 6 of us have all kind of figured out how to maneuver. Um, and yeah, our motorhome is jam-packed full of baby stuff, so, like we talked about earlier, long are the days where you just put a couple beers in, some money for, food at the canteen, food for entries, long and race cars and fuel. Those were, like, the only 4 things we cared about before. Now it's, "Oh my god, do we have bottles? Do we have formula? Do we have the bottle sterilizer? Do we have toys?" The list is, like, literally it could go on and on and on forever. Um but the key that we have somewhat figured out on how to manage this is wake up much earlier than we used to wake up, um, and give ourselves extra time. So if I think I'm gonna fill my gas in my car and it's gonna take like 10 seconds, well, usually I have a baby on my hip, and I'm trying to find somebody that I can, get her to hold me or get them to hold her for like 20 seconds so I can fill it up. Always just trying to find somebody around that can help either do the task or hold her so I can do the task. And communication is also the other big thing that I wrote. Um, and I think we kinda touched on this a little bit earlier, where me and Brandon, in between every round, we say, "Okay, who's doing baby and who's doing cars?" And then we can establish, okay, who's gonna fuel them, who's gonna plug the battery chargers in, who's gonna monitor everything, make sure it's good. Have you had a minute to, like, look at your logbook, look at your tickets? Do you know what you're gonna dial? And then the other person is, like, full baby mode. Okay, do we need and then, okay, they're about to call Super Pro, does she have a clean diaper? Does she have a bottle ready? Who's around that can watch her? And luckily, I think the only saving grace for us is when we're in the same class is double entries. It's who's going first and then who's going second. So usually, like, either Brandon will go first, get up to the very front of the line, and then and a lot of times we race like double entered people, so they kind of tell us, we need to go at the beginning or we need to go at the end. So that's been helpful where one of us can like stay um, in the pits and like stay with her. But yeah, just always having like a designated like Alex person. So like if I'm leaving, it's like, okay, dad, grandpa, here's the baby monitor, or like here's Alex, she's in the stroller, like don't take your eyes off her. Not just like assuming that everyone's kind of watching, which like they kind of are, but you know what I mean. So yeah, that's been really challenging but fun and chaotic and yeah, all the things.
Absolutely. Andrew kind of hit it on the head here. Babysitting by committee.
That's a good one.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. We
Yeah.
just kind of make it work. That's how it's got to go.
Yeah,
Which
I remember the first weekend, it was, like, the first time where all 4 of us had to be up in the lanes at the same time, or all 5 of us, and, Pam Rennie was walking by, and I was like, "Hey, Pam!" And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Do you like kids?" She was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Hold the stroller." I was like, "Alex is in here, she should be good." I was like, "We just gotta go up really quick." And, her car had broken that day, so she wasn't able to race, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, no problem, like, whatever." And then, 2 weeks ago, um like Al and Linda and our buddy Max, his girlfriend, Carly was there, and I was like, "Hey, here she is. She's in the stroller. There's a bottle here. Yep, we gotta go." And luckily, Linda's obviously race kid, so she's good. But I was like, "Here you go. Here's my child. Please keep her alive." And it's only for a short period of time. And yeah, you just pick somebody on the committee, and thank God we're in the sport that we're in, and you can trust everyone that's around and yeah, we're all like family, so it's really no problem to find someone.
absolutely, absolutely. Butch did add. I did have it on the screen for a second. And selling Bracket
Oh,
Life shirts.
yes.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
add that to the mix.
yeah. It's a lot going on. It's
Yeah.
busy over there. You watch it. It's a lot happening when you think about that when you're racing, right? Add all these different factors in. They're all self-inflicted, right? This isn't like
Yeah,
these outside
100%.
circumstances that like make life harder on us or make our day busier, right? It's all us that we've done this whole deal. So
Yeah, we
we're not
chose to do all
complaining.
this.
We're
No.
just we're just telling you what it's like.
Yep.
But yeah, that's about it. That's what racing with a baby is like when both of us race. But it's fun. Wouldn't change it for the world.
Absolutely. My last note that I wrote on our show notes was that overall we are completely blessed with the chillest baby. She is not bothered by the noise at the racetrack. The heat doesn't bother her. She's chill. Like the only thing that bothers her is when I am not within like seeing distance. If she can't see me, she's unhappy. But as long or if dad's there, then it's all good. But yeah, we are so lucky to have a baby that is so chill, and I think that has made it a million times easier. But yeah, like we said, we put ourselves in this position, so even if she wasn't chill, we would have figured it out, but it just happened that things are working out much better than we anticipated.
Oh, absolutely. This getting close to 9 o'clock thing starting to hit me. I'm getting ready.
I
So
know. Well, let's talk about the bracket then.
that's it. We'll dive into it. So, as promised earlier, and as we talked about with tonight's show being presented by Luskville Dragway, their biggest here. Where's your shirt? Show.
My shirt's
Where
here.
your shirt is. Bracket
Oh, I
Bonanza.
thought we had the same one on. Look at us.
No, different shirts. Bracket Bonanza shirts all around. Loaded up for the Bonanza week. Give me 2 seconds. Where is this? Full screen. Share screen. I think that's it. No, that is not it. There we go. Sorry, my bad. Right up there, the Napa Auto Parts Bracket Bonanza Week, 43rd annual Bracket Bonanza, August 1, 2, 3, and 4, 2024. So that's going to be huge. Obviously, we talked about the Little Bracket the weekend before. So that's happening. I'll get you the dates in a minute. Don't worry about it. So for
The
this
27th
one,
and 28th.
27th, 28th of July. So that's going on. Then the Bracket Bonanza Week. Like I said, foot break is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 5,000 to win. I would assume that's Saturday, Sunday, and Friday will be 2,000 to win as a regular Bracket Super Tour event. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, three 10 granders to win Super Pro. That's going to be massive. 3-day weekend deal, $650 in Super Pro, $350 in Semi Pro. It's a good deal for Semi Pro for 2, 5, and a 2 for only $350. Only, right? $350 is a lot of money, right? Is what it is. But that's pretty huge, right? So good for them. That should bring a lot of folks in. The 3-day weekend deal for Super Pro should also, we usually get around 90 to 100 Super Pro cars. So should hopefully only keep growing. Thursday night or Thursday afternoon, Big Dog Shootout. Usually pays 10 grand to win. 100% of the entry money that comes in, it goes straight to the payout. Not a guaranteed 10 grander, but has been 10 grand for, I don't know, as long as I ever remember running the Big Dog Shootout. Thursday night, 3:30 shootout. This will be the second year, I believe, doing this. Dale Gauthier took the win last year. $50. Come race to the 3:30, right? It's a lot of fun. I only got to try it once because I did chase Dale to the lanes and made that mistake. Is what it is. I'll do it again this year. I don't care. Juniors is the big one. Not just the big one, but huge for them. Friday and Sunday, $1,000 to win. Saturday, a huge $5,000 to win junior dragster class. $200 for the weekend for the juniors. So if you're keeping track, Saturday is going to be massive. $5 grand to win juniors, $5 grand to win semi-pro, and another 10 in super. Friday night golf cart race, free steak dinner, free T-shirt with every entry. So that's huge.
And they're pretty cool this year.
They are. Dinner is Saturday night. The Angers Fun Party is Friday night.
Friday night.
Yeah, I'm just going through the schedule here. I haven't really looked at it yet, but
there's a golf cart race on Friday night.
Yeah, golf cart race.
There is Friday night. So much. Like it takes you.
There's a lot going on.
To get through.
Yes.
Yeah. All the things that are going on.
Also doing the Elite 16 door cards versus dragsters. 8 fastest door cards with 8 fastest dragsters. $5,000 to win. Mike Chenier took the win last year. I just noticed the Hall of Fame on the bottom there. It's only got me, it wasn't a Super Tour race. in 2017. So I did win 2017 and 2018. Butch Douglas, watching on here, says best race of the year. Butch and I won together in 2018. Cody Newman, is there free bacon still? Yes, there is.
Always, always.
The Angers Fun. Lots more free
Yeah.
stuff there. So load it up. Beer, booze, drinks, bacon, usually hot dogs.
Yeah.
The hot dogs are underrated. Nobody talks
They've
about that.
been so good the last couple times.
Yeah, we only talked about the bacon, but
Yeah.
the hot dogs are underrated. Oh Jesus, gotta get out of here. Sorry, 2 seconds. I'm just switching pictures. So that's what's going on for the bracket. Like I said, the weekend before the Little Bracket 10 grand with both days in Super Pro. I'm not sure about Semi Pro for that, but we do have some other stuff going on. Give me 2 seconds to pop it up here. Share screen. There we go. Once again, coming back, the Bracket Life brand Precision Concrete finishing 5-day bracket championship point series. This is for all the main event races during the Bracket Bonanza week. So this deal, we do it for the Little Bracket Saturday and Sunday, the 27th, 28th we talked about, as well as Friday, Saturday, Sunday of the bracket, right? Those are the main event days. For $50, you get entered in the points series. Kyle and I keep track of them. Kyle Jessup and myself keep track of all your round wins throughout the week. All five events. Semi-pro, super pro, doesn't matter. If you're in junior and you want to enter, load it up. I wouldn't advise it unless 50 juniors show up, then you might not get as many points as you need. But this is a great deal for $50. You can cover your weekend your week-long entry fees just by doing what you're already doing. 2 years ago, Stephen Valentine takes the win and $1,200 in a semi-pro racer. Jean Harvey took the win last year, came down to the final round. Louis Gagne, I think, was second or third place by one. Louis had won the race, and but Jean had a couple more win lights throughout the day that got him the championship. So $1,200 to win, $500 to second place, $300 to third, $150 gift certificate to Pro One Canada, pro1safety.ca, and $75 gift certificate to fifth place. So, as always, that's why I got the hat. Made sure I brought that in. Thank you to pro1safety.ca, everything they do. This should be a great event, great week. A lot of fun. Hopefully everybody does jump into the 5-day championship point series with us. Any questions, shoot a message to me, Kyle Jessup. We have our list going. We've had a fair amount of people already signed up and letting us know they are in. We'll be around the whole week. Even if you missed the little bracket and you just show up for the bracket bonanza, you have 3 huge days and pay for the entry fees like that. So dive into that. Make sure you become a part of it. Make sure you're there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for it.
It's definitely not a race to miss.
No, it's not. Andrew, who didn't make it on the show tonight, still here
but
watching.
He's watching.
He's still a part of it. Andrew wants to know if we are still doing the Schooled by Sturkey School. I don't see why not. We just need to figure out the time.
I'm down.
We might not be able to start it till after midnight, though. I think that's when the real teaching is going to come out and the learning is going to happen. Butch says, Johnny and me are in. I'll add them to the list right now. So Johnny Volka, Butch Douglas adding their names to the bracket championship list. Should be good. And for everybody who is wondering, where are we going to go? So there's 2 weekends. All right, so we race Saturday, Sunday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, that's, what do we do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Well, Monday you have a day off. Monday after the little bracket, you get to relax, watch Arnie cut the grass. I've heard that's a really fun time from folks that do stay at Luskville for a couple of days. They do quite enjoy watching Arnie cut the grass. Whatever you're into, Tuesday, the annual mountain hike. They go to I don't know which trail they are. Luskville's got a bunch of trails all around there. If you ever been there, you've seen all the mountains. So they go for a hike up the mountain on Tuesday. I've always been interested in going. Looks like a lot of fun. Also says listing for go-karting. I'm not sure who's organizing that. Send Arnie a message or the Luskville Dragway Facebook page for that information. Wednesday, this one I'd like to participate in a little bit, but I'm kind of glad I don't because it does get a little messy. The golf tournament going on there should be a lot of fun. Not sure who won last year, but the golf tournaments that they set up with all the racers is usually a blast. Makes for a long Thursday morning, but that's all right. There's as well a girls' spa day going on. So anybody interested or looking maybe on the fence about coming, you want to come for the full week, make it a whole event, there is stuff for you to do and activities going on if you are interested in those.
Absolutely.
So other than that, I feel like that was a lot. That was a lot going on. Oh, Highway Sunrise live band Saturday night as well. So
oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. The band is always a good time, indeed.
Yes. And there is for the free steak dinner. I don't think I made this as a big enough deal. Friday night, you come to the Angers fun party. There's bacon, hot dogs, drinks, lots of fun. Right? That's Friday. Saturday we race, do the same thing. You cut with every entry you buy, you get a free steak dinner. As well, you get the T-shirt, right? Show them again.
Mm-hmm.
We get the T-shirts. We got them.
They're gray this year.
They are. I saw them on the weekend. They look awesome.
Yeah, I'm so excited to get one. I saw a sneak peek and I was like,
yeah,
I'm excited.
So free T-shirt, free steak dinner with a weekend entry. You're bringing your family, you're bringing friends, whoever else is coming. You can. There are steaks available for your spectators. I believe $10. Weekend spectators $75 with a dinner is $10. So there you go. Not a bad deal. Steak dinner there. So yeah, I just want to make that point. Make sure that was clear for everybody. So there's a lot going on. Any more details? Any more questions? Shoot me a message. Shoot Bracket Life a message, or message Luskville directly or Arnie Malcolm. Everybody always excited to talk about it. Excited to make this year huge. Should be really good. There's a couple. What else we got going on leading up to it? So this weekend's the Ace race. Andrew will be there. Then we're headed to Luskville for the Little Bracket. Some racers, Canadian racers, looking like they're headed to Empire for that one. Maybe they make some money there and come straight to Luskville. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. I'm not sure what else is happening. Miramichi, and I believe it's Greenfield, have the NHRA National Open races coming up. The long weekend and the weekend, the national,
and Naperville's this weekend as well.
It is this weekend as well. We looked at going. It wasn't going to work out. We had Rachel's got plans on Sunday in London, so
my friends are getting married.
We're heading the other direction for that. But National Open in Naperville this weekend coming up, and then Miramichi in 2 or 3 weeks. 3 weeks then, and I believe Greenfield after.
Absolutely. Let us know where you guys are all going racing. There's a lot going on. We hope to see you guys somewhere real soon.
Absolutely. That's it. Andrew Stirk. Cannot wait to hit up the Dave Rennie Little Bracket weekend. I'm excited to hang out with you, Andrew.
Yeah.
We're missing you tonight, so we didn't get to really talk. We didn't get to hang out later on, but we'll do it. We'll do it at Luskville. We got time.
Next week.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you guys very much. Hope you all enjoyed the episode. I had a great time. Rach, obviously, thanks for. I feel it's weird.
I feel like I made you emotional, so I apologize, but it was a good chat. I'm glad that we got to talk.
It was good. Like I said, it's weird to thank you as if I'm not going to see you in 2 seconds. You're a guest, being you're just in the kitchen.
Yep.
And I'm in the office. Dave Gunn, Pittsburgh, 10/20/10 Sam weekend is the Little Bracket. Dave, that just means you can come to the bracket. Right, you're set up. Go win, pick up another big check there, and then
make your way to Luskville.
Come hang out with us. Thank you guys. Thanks for everybody for chiming in. Hope to see everybody maybe this weekend in Shannonville. We'll see. right? We'll see a lot of
Yeah.
folks there. For those of you taking a weekend off, I know a few are getting ready for the busyness of what is the Bracket Bonanza week. Dave Gunn says it's on the schedule. I'm loving it. Dave Top Gun. Come. So thank you guys. Thanks everybody for paying attention. We did get a shout out earlier from Mission Raceway Junior Street Facebook page. We did miss that. I apologize. But thanks, guys. Glad that you're paying attention.
Love it.
Right? We love talking about Canadian drag racing, coast to coast, doesn't matter. Love to meet everybody. We'll get there. We'll get all around. We're going to hit
Absolutely.
as many spots in Canada as we can in the future, right? Moving forward.
For sure.
We'll come visit everyone, or you guys can all come visit us, right? Usually you know where we are.
Yeah, let us know where you guys are going and where we should come to.
Yeah. Not everything works out, but, obviously,
Yeah.
as we talked about, that whole having a baby situation slows us, but that's all right.
Slows us down, but it's not impossible.
No, exactly. But all right. Well, thank you guys very much. Thanks, Rach. Thanks for everybody else who was paying attention, throwing stuff in the chat. I feel like I've done the outro 3 times now almost, but I keep getting distracted. We're having too much fun here. But yeah, that's it. We're done now. I'm not doing it again. Thank you all. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go on YouTube, Bracket Life Brand, hit subscribe. We appreciate it. Appreciate all that stuff. And we'll see you all at a racetrack sometime soon. Have a good one. Isn't just what we do, it's who we are. It's how we identify ourselves.
What does bracket racing mean to me? It's my life. It's where my people are. My idols, my family, my friends.
Bracket racing is life. Bracket life.